Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and thank you for being a patron of mine. I've really been trying to think of different things that I could do to offer you guys as an incentive for you being here. Many of you just appreciate the reviews that I do, and that means a lot because you're willing to help me without necessarily guaranteeing that you're going to get something back out of it other than my videos. And that really does mean a lot. I really do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, it helps out a great deal. I love doing reviews. You guys know that recently with my life changes and things of that nature, in addition to getting a second job, it's kind of been a struggle to keep things up. It's proven to be a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be initially. And it is what it is. But your guys' help, support, and just knowing that you're there is kind of motivation for me. And that it really does help. So what I thought I would do is do a little bit of a behind the scenes filming on part of the review for this guy. This is the Leader Class Transformer Seige Ultra Magnus. I'm going to set everything up. I got it all here. I'm ready to go. I'm going to spin this around and angle this down a little bit so you can kind of see. So here's my general setup. You can see my lights. Here's my table. I always talk about how it's curved and rounded. You can see how it is like that. Here's my trusty camera. In case you guys haven't noticed, I have been shooting my videos again in 4K. I originally stopped because the internet speed at my new apartment is considerably lower than what it was at my old apartment. So I had to do something a little bit different I'm bringing out some figures here that I want to do comparisons with. So I decided to cut back on the workload of my internet and such, and as such decided to just start shooting my videos in 720p but at 60 frames per second, which seems to, a lot of people seem to like it like that, but I like the clarity of the 4K. I think that is absolutely gorgeous looking, and I feel as if really does. I honestly have forgotten how to transform this guy. I honestly do like the clarity of it, especially when I do my videos of like my Hot Toy figures. I think it goes like that. Yeah, something like that. The Hot Toy figures, I feel really deserve that extra quality to them to showcase everything. And I was noticing that even though the videos are a little bit longer, the internet here is not too terrible. They're uploading relatively quickly, enough for me to go back and reuse the 4K option on my reviews. And it's something that not a lot of people do in reviews. Some people do, some people don't. But it was something that I thought that I could add to things. So so my camera is going back to the world of 4K. So let's get this going. Again, I'm going to take a look. I'm going to try and angle this so you can see it as much as possible. I know my arm's going to be kind of in the way. I have my light right here, so hopefully you guys are going to be able to see this. But here we go. Alright guys, so here we have the new Transformer Seige Leader Class Ultra Magnus open up and out of his packaging. And right up front, if you guys saw my review of that Leader Class Shockwave, I was absolutely disappointed in the price point for that figure. The toy was actually pretty good, but it just really let me down in terms of the price point. Shockwave never looked like that. At least with Ultra Magnus here, a lot of what's going on with it is actually how he was. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't stick you on the suction cuppy thing very well. Let's get that on there proper. So for me, the price point on this guy, while still a little bit higher than I would really like, it's not as egregiously bad as Shockwave's. Take a look at his vehicle mode. Obviously, as you can see, he's a big truck thing. Tractor, trailer, I don't even know. But the one thing that does kind of stink is you can't open the back. You can't open the back section to have any vehicles fit in. This is all just kind of closed off and locked in this position, but he still looks really darn cool. As you can see, you can peg his weapons into a whole bunch of different areas. Obviously, you do have the more classic looking Ultra Magnus missile launchers here. You have some guns. These can, of course, be removed. And again, you can kind of position them really however you want. You can put them down like this. That actually looks pretty good when you leave it down like that, as opposed to having it dangle up high like that. I kind of like that. You can also take his silver gun here. You can peg it into the back here. One thing I'll say is that this little hole right here, when you put this through, it's kind of like wobbly in here. It's not a very secure hold. You got a hole up here that's a little bit better, but again, I don't know if I really like that up there. But you do have weapon storage for them. I suppose you could probably figure out a way to put it on the inside to hold it, or you put it here along the side. Anything that you would basically want. So getting these out of the way, because we're not going to really need these for right now. But taking a look at the overall kind of presentation of them, obviously you have that very Ultra Magnus sort of look with the white cab, the blue and red trailer section. You got some nice silver paint here on the rims of the tires. It doesn't rotate or anything, so like the whole thing needs to turn like this. Obviously there's not a trailer hitch here where the cab will turn and then the trailer part goes along with it. So it is all locked into place. That's not terrible though, if you ask me. You got some gorgeous detail in the front here. I like the nice paint wash, and they do have the battle damage sort of thing going on here. We didn't really have that with Shockwave, so it's nice to see that brought back in. It just gives a little bit more of a realistic look. I wish it was put throughout more of the figure. That's kind of that theme with all of these Seige figures, that it looks good. It's just they only put it in certain areas, so it kind of makes some look great, and then it's like, where's the rest of it? You can see you have a nice blue translucent section up here for the window, and then the little grill area. Got a gorgeous looking Autobot logo there in the front. And a pretty good size, I would say. I mean, again, it's a leader class figure, so, I mean, people are going to, I guess, still complain about that leader class price point. But bringing in a couple deluxe figures from the Seige line, you can see that here's Hound and here's Sideswipe. You put the two of them there, and it's about the same length, I would say, as Ultra Magnus here. So that's a pretty good size, I think. I can dig that. And then for another comparison, let's bring in Optimus Prime from the Seige line in his truck mode. One thing that I absolutely love, and I kind of mentioned this in the packaging portion, is that most of the time, Ultra Magnus is just like a white repaint of Optimus Prime. This guy is definitely not just a white repaint. It's, from what I can see, a completely new figure. There are elements that are similar in terms of the design, like the legs going backwards, the arms swiveling around here, but on the surface, I don't really see anything that's been reused other than some kind of design cues, which really does impress me. And like I said, just gives a much better feel than just a white repainted Optimus Prime. A little bit of a backstory for you guys. When you're watching this, and if you hear me pause, usually it's because after doing this for 11 years, I self-edit. I learned how to do that. So, like when I said, hey guys, thanks for tuning, or like, and here we have him open up and out of his packaging. That is what I knew I was going to say. That's kind of always what I'm saying. But then I have to think about what I want to lead into. So that's where that pause comes from. So if you ever see me edit a video and accidentally leave a pause in there, it's because that's how it was in its raw form, and I missed that in editing. So the gap is always me thinking, and then I go through and I cut those gaps out. So it seems like it's more of a seamless thought. That's just a little bit of a background. Now to transform him, yes, he is a bit of a parts former. But again, nothing that Ultra Magnus really wasn't before. So that's where this doesn't bother me, because he had that. Whereas Shockwave, again, did not. First, we're going to just pull all this apart, and these all tab along the side very securely. Go ahead and swivel that all the way to the back. Do that on this side as well. Just pull all of this away. This tabs in fairly securely along this top section. So you kind of have to really get in there and pull it out. Come on, dude. There we go. And it'll probably knock everything off like that. But let me pretend you didn't see me do that. Okay, so now that we have that like so, we're going to come around and kind of flop this towards the back, take this section, pull this out. Now this is just the standard truck for Ultra Magnus or white Optimus Prime. We're going to set that off to the side because everything else here basically detaches and then becomes Ultra Magnus. So kind of flip this around to the back. This little section here, this tabs in like that. Just pull that apart and then take these. Don't just pull these. They actually kind of lock in by going on top like that. So just slide that back, put this, and then set this back like that. You don't want to close it all the way yet because these are going to go on his shoulders and this is going to lock in. So just kind of leave it like that for right now. Set that off to the back side. Come around here. You can then split these pieces apart, and all of this is going to fold in and accordion on itself. I always kind of forget how that, there we go, like that, and then that's going to wrap around his legs. So just kind of lock that in there, and you have one of Ultra Magnus's legs done. This really does kind of feel, if you guys remember, one of the very original, I guess, third-party items was the City Commander set. And this really does kind of remind me of the City Commander set, and a little bit better, to be totally honest with you. I think that this is a little bit better than that was. So set those off to the side. And then we have this section here. This is going to fold down, and then take these just peg on here like that, and that's going to become his forearm pieces. So just pull that apart, fold this up like that, fold that down, take this bottom section, fold this in, and basically you're seeing the makings of Ultra Magnus in his armored up form. For this guy, again, you can see that, I mean, you're not really going to be using this as a separate truck, I don't think. You might, but I don't imagine a lot of people doing it. But he does have a separate robot mode. We're going to rotate these legs down and then split them apart here. Fold out his heel, just like that, on both sides. And then these arms, swivel around. Don't lock them in just yet. You just swivel them around like so. Rotate this towards the back, and then this whole section slides up like so, and then you collapse the torso bit all the way back. It's a little bit tricky to do, but just give that a nice little push. Fold down the hands, rotate his fists around, fold that, and then keep this from locking in. Fold this section down. Again, it locks in there very securely. Rotate his head around, put that back, and then you can fold this in and lock that into place. And here you have Ultra Magnus in his unarmored up mode. But again, he really does look like a white Optimus Prime, except he doesn't utilize any of that same molding from the previous figure. You can take his guns, you can have him hold both of them, very stiff guns, or you can have him hold the big giant gun. I kind of like the big giant gun just for Ultra Magnus, kind of like the smaller guns here for Ultra Magnus Mini, Mini Magnus. So you do have this. Now, setting him there, let's do some more comparisons for the sizing with some of those other figures that I just recently brought out. So there you go, guys. I'm going to wrap this up myself, but you got an idea of how I do my videos. I'm going to transform this guy real quick. Again, I actually forgot how to transform him, so it's going to be me just kind of playing around with this little dude. But that's a little behind the scenes on my recording process. It is a tedious process in terms of, now I'll have to go through, I'll have to edit that, I'll have to eliminate those gaps in the video, I'll have to do some color correcting, some white balancing, things of that nature to get everything to look good. How you see it on camera is not how it will look on the final video. There's a lot of other work that I put into it that you guys won't see. So that's the fun part. That's the part that actually takes longer to do than any of the actual filming aspects of it. I mean, in terms of the filming, I filmed like 12 minutes or something like that. The thing is, with editing, you have to render the effects. You have to put all that stuff into the computer. You have to let all that kind of work out. And then you go from there. And from there, you can then actually trim everything down. So it is a lengthy process to do, and why a lot of people don't necessarily think, and it's not hard work. I never want it to sound like I'm saying that the work is hard. It's just time consuming and tedious to do. But I never want to make it sound like my job is hard. It's different, and it is what it is. So I'm getting Optimus Prime back as a robot so that I can do a comparison here, and I'll probably show you guys here real quick, give you a little sneaka peeka. How would you like that? Why is his chest like not? He can't get his head to pop out. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening here? Octopotamus. The Transformer expert is not having any luck whatsoever transforming this damn toy. Oh, there we go. All right. You know, and a lot of people will do much easier videos. Some people will just use their iPhones. That's perfectly fine. For them, it works. It gets the videos up much quicker. and it allows that person to kind of beat other people in doing reviews first, because we all know that the most important thing in this business is being the first person to showcase a new toy. That's what got most of us popular. So let me do a comparison here for you guys so you can see. So Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, they look very similar, but I'm looking at this, it's like I don't see any parts that have been reused between the two. The elbow, maybe? No, that even looks different because it's bigger than Optimus Prime's. Like almost everything on here is brand new. I don't see anything that's the same. Are his hands? His hands were even completely different. Blown away. Blown away. Love the fact that it's not just a white Optimus Prime. So, all right, guys. Thank you again. Thank you all for being a patron of mine. I love you all. I can't thank you enough. I hope you enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes video. I'm going to finish this up. Hopefully get this up for release Friday. Today is Wednesday. So it's going to take me a couple days to get everything done, saved, all that kind of stuff. So look for this to come out on Friday. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in. This has been Optimus. I'll talk to you later.